chicken eggs that have been sitting out on the counter for about 6 weeks. If you guys don't know how everything works as far as fresh chicken eggs being able to be left out on the counter, I will be making another video explaining all of that in detail. But today we're just wanting to boil all of those older eggs to start fresh. So we're gonna make a very, very large batch of egg salad. But we need to test those eggs first to make sure they're not rotten, because I definitely don't want a rotten egg to break in the boiling water with my other good eggs. And we're going to use the floating method to see if those eggs are good or bad. Before we get into that, if you guys will please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate all of our viewers, and that just really helps us out. If these are chicken eggs fresh from your farm or fresh from a local farm that have been sitting out, it means they most likely have not been washed. So we have water for the testing part and then soapy water over here to wash them with. So we have both. As you can see, this egg is floating, this egg is floating, and this egg is actually standing upright, but it's not all the way to the top of the water. That means it is close to going bad, but it's not bad yet. But these, I mean, they're just freely floating in there. If the egg is floating, they're definitely bad. This works 90% of the time. So I take out any that float and put them over here. Those will go out to our pigs. They're not going to go to waste. And then once I've tested about this many, I'll take all of these that should be good and put them over here in the water. Another thing I do before I put them in the water to boil them is I smell them. If they are rotten, you can usually smell it through the shell. So once I've checked to see if they're bad using the water method or the floating method, then I will wash them, and then lastly I will sniff each egg before I put it in my pot of boiling water, just to make sure that this method worked. I've only had a couple that have been boiled out of probably a few hundred eggs that were still rotten, even like made it all the way through the boiling process and were no good. So this is pretty accurate way to test them out. I did just want to let you guys see when I put them in what happens. See if maybe we have another bat. See, that one's bad. See how it floated immediately to the top? It's kind of bouncing there, but it's floating. I'm not going to chance it. If they float like that, I definitely pull them. That one's floating. We're getting into older eggs. So yeah, the one on the bottom is good. I'm going to put those in there. And I'm sorry if the camera's wiggling a little bit. I'm trying to hold the camera and put eggs in there without dropping and breaking eggs all over the kitchen. I've already, lots of bad ones in this batch. These are the oldest eggs that we have in the kitchen, so it doesn't surprise me that quite a few of them are a little bit older. Again, if the camera wiggles, I'm very sorry. Trying to multitask here. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to see the difference, how some of them sink right away and some of them definitely just pop right back up like a ping pong ball. And I believe it's from the gases in the egg that are created by it rotting that make it float. So floating equals no good. So as you can see, out of those, we have quite a few floaters. This egg down here is not sinking to the bottom, but it's not floating. I will probably go ahead and pull that one if it doesn't stay on the bottom. We're feeding them to the pigs, so it's, again, they're not going to go to waste. They'll go to the pigs, the chickens get in there, and they'll get some of the shells, which is great for them for calcium. So it doesn't upset me too bad to have to throw these out, just because they're feeding our other animals. If you have a bunch of eggs that are bad and you don't have other animals to feed them to, ask around, or if you have a neighbor with dogs, or if you have dogs, the eggs are really good for dogs too. Our dogs love rotten eggs. They have iron stomachs, so it doesn't really bother them. And then again, I am going to take all of our good eggs and put them over here in the soapy water, give them all a good scrub before I boil them to make sure there's no germs or bacteria on the outside of those, and then put them in the fridge. Now that all of the eggs have been tested, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what do you actually do with the eggs so the pigs can eat them? They will actually eat a lot of the shell and stuff. Pig stomachs are very strong, so it won't hurt them. But I'm going to take them. These are our buckets. This is the chicken bucket, pig bucket, and pig bucket. I actually add water to this. I'll do that here in a minute, and then I'll feed it to them tomorrow morning. So I'm going to crack the eggs open and put them in here before I add the water so it can like get all mixed in there. So I put water in chicken feed, to make it last longer. The animals don't seem to be as hungry as fast. And yeah, it's easier for them to digest. From everything that I've read and all the research that I've done, it's a lot easier for them to digest whenever you wet their food down first. So yeah, it's supposed to be really, really good for them. And with us having pigs and pigs not being able to sweat and getting dehydrated really easy, I've found that it gives them a lot more hydration. So I don't know how. I don't know if that's super true, but anyways, they seem to like it better. They all look healthier doing it this way. So yeah, that's just what we've been doing for the past couple of months, and it seems to be working for us. And again, it makes the food last longer. I fill it to about there. This is a 5-gallon bucket. I use the scoops from Tractor Supply, the bigger ones. 3 scoops per bucket. Fill it to here with water. And in the morning, I'll try to get a picture of it in the morning, but the food will be like mounded like this. So it really absorbs all of that water. The food expands, and everybody seems to like it a lot more. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate you guys checking us out. Until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.